One word to describe Caitlin Clark.
Amazing.
Yes.
A beast.
When a legend talks, people listen, especially in the basketball world. And what WNBA great Cynthia Cooper just said about Caitlin Clark has everyone talking. Caitlin Clark, the former Iowa standout, has taken the women's basketball scene by storm after an impressive rookie year with the Indiana Fever. Her popularity is through the roof, so much so that the Fever even sold out a preseason game held at her old college. As Clark heads into her second season, she's earning big praise from some of the game's biggest names. Cynthia Cooper, a four-time WNBA champion and Hall of Famer, had nothing but high praise for the 23-year-old star. "She's the truth," Cooper said during her May 15th appearance on the All the Smoke podcast with Matt Barnes and Steven Jackson. When asked to describe Clark in one word, Cooper first said, "amazing," then followed with, "a beast." Cooper knows greatness when she sees it. Over her legendary career, she racked up 4 straight WNBA titles, 2 league MVPs, 4 finals MVPs, and a pair of NCAA championships. She also made a strong mark as a college coach. So when someone with that kind of resume calls Clark the truth, even as a rookie, the message is clear. Caitlin Clark is the real deal. Cynthia Cooper didn't hold back when talking about Caitlin Clark's skills on the court. "She can hit the three, drive to the basket, draw fouls. She does it all," Cooper said. "She's clever. Sometimes it looks like she's pulling up for a deep shot, then suddenly she's cutting to the hoop for an easy layup. She passes. She scores. She gets her teammates involved. She's a complete player." Praise like this from WNBA legends isn't handed out often, but Clark has certainly earned it. In the 2024 season, Clark averaged 19, 2 points, 5, 7 rebounds, and 8. 4 assists per game. Her scoring was impressive, but what really stood out was her ability to create plays. She broke the WNBA's single-season assist record with 337 assists, beating the previous record of 316 set by Sue Bird. That's a major milestone and proof of Clark's sharp vision and smart decision-making as a point guard. Her playmaking was a big reason the Indiana Fever improved during the season. Even though the team finished with a 2020 record, Clark's impact was clear. She consistently set up her teammates, made smart passes, and elevated the team's overall play. With a strong preseason behind her, fans are excited to see what's next. And Clark is already a top contender for the 2025 WNBA MVP.
One word to describe Caitlin Clark.
Amazing.
Yes.
A beast. She is the truth. And I mean, she's the truth, and she was a rookie. Right?
Yeah.
Knock down the three-pointer, get to the rim. She can get to the free throw line. She's
the ball.
crafty.
Yeah, very crafty.
Crafty. So sometimes she look like she's coming off for a three-point shot and she backdoors you for a layup. She gets her teammates involved. She can pass. She can shoot. Man, she is a complete basketball player.
Colin Cowherd isn't holding back when it comes to the backlash Caitlin Clark has been getting. He called out some WNBA players and fans for pushing back against the attention Clark is receiving, saying it's hurting the league more than helping it. "Too many in the WNBA are weirdly fighting the league's growth," Cowherd said. "You've got to get out of your own way. This isn't a good look." His point: more attention on players like Clark means more eyes on the league as a whole. Instead of gatekeeping, he says, the focus should be on embracing the momentum and using it to grow the game.
These people who are fans of indie bands, international soccer, and the WNBA, they have this gatekeeping mentality. We'll tell you who's great. Colin, I was watching the WNBA long before Caitlin Clark. Well, yeah, it's not my problem your social life was boring. I'm not going to apologize for watching it when it got really interesting. And I've said this about Steph Curry. I love Draymond Green and Jimmy Butler and pods. But if you take Steph Curry out of the Warriors, they're kind of boring. And if you take Caitlin Clark out of the WNBA and her team, it's not the same. She's packing now larger arenas. She's taking and making shots nobody's ever done in the history of the sport. She is Steph Curry. I mean, there's a reason the NBA puts Steph Curry on Christmas. And privately, the NBA with Steph Curry out of the playoffs knows Minnesota's not going to get the same number. WNBA players weirdly have been fighting growth. Stop fighting the truth. Get out of your own way. It is a bad look. She is a fascinating player, and it must be exhausting. Hating new cool...
Rebecca Lobo shared her take on the upcoming WNBA season, and she's high on the Indiana Fever. When asked about her expectations for the team, Lobo didn't hold back. "I see them as real championship contenders," she said. She named the Fever alongside the Las Vegas Aces, Minnesota Lynx, and New York Liberty as the top teams to watch this season.
What are your expectations, RL?
Well, after the moves that Indiana made in free agency, I think this is a team that's a championship contender. They brought back their big three from a year ago. Of course, Caitlin Clark had a monster year, Aaliyah Boston as well, Kelsey Mitchell, and then all of the pieces that they added in free agency. Tawana Bonner was a huge pickup for this team, Natasha Howard as well. Both of those players give them flexibility in terms of the lineups they can use. Sophie Cunningham was a great addition for the Indiana Fever as well. They have a much more favorable early schedule than they did a year ago, but I think they are up in the conversation with championship contenders, along with the New York Liberty, the Las Vegas Aces, and the Minnesota Lynx.
I know it's a small sample size, but their defense, at least in the preseason, looks a lot better than a year ago when they were second worst in scoring. That, of course, is going to be the 3 o'clock game of our doubleheader. That first.
Well, I think I've just been waiting to play basketball for a really long time now. You know, you go through the preseason games, you go through a lot of training camp. It's been a few weeks now. I think you're just itching to get out there and really play like a real game. That's going to count towards your record. But I mean, I feel like I have a better understanding of how everything works, a better understanding of what to expect when you get in the game, when you get in these environments. You know, I've played in this arena for a year now, so I think just relying on the experience of playing here for a year, but also like this is going to be this team's first time playing together too. So there's going to be a learning curve there and a challenge that's presented, and it's not everything's going to be perfect. It's just got to play through it, play through the mistakes. That's what Coach Steph talks about all the time. So, you know, just learn and go out there and compete and get the win.
From the outside, there are maybe, this team looks a lot different. There's a lot of new faces on this year's team. Maybe some more expectations for a deeper run in the postseason. Do you feel that from the inside too, that there's maybe a different feel for this year compared to last year?
You know, I always expect to win, whether it's last year or whether it's this year. I think last year, you know, our goal was getting back to the playoffs. So coming in here as a rookie, that's kind of what we were expected to do. And then, you know, this year our front office made a lot of really great changes to be able to put this roster together and construct a team that can really win now if we, you know, do everything the right way. But, you know, it's a long season. It's 44 games. It's going to take a lot of time. And then once you get to the playoffs, that's when you need to be playing your best basketball. So in our locker room, I mean, you know, we expect to win championships, and, you know, that's what we're going to try to do.
Is there anything you did or thought about last year going into your season opener that you're changing this year with the knowledge of knowing this team?
Honestly, I don't even really remember season opener last year. Maybe that's a good thing. I think just going out there and having fun and being confident. And, you know, I've been in this league for a year now. I know I belong. I know I can perform. And I know I can make my teammates better every single night. And that's my job. So just being confident in that and, you know, coming out here and doing, not everything's going to be perfect. Give yourself grace. You know, there's going to be really good moments. There's going to be moments where you struggle. So just trying to stay as neutral as I can and stay positive. But I think just being confident, and, you know, I've been in these moments before and I'm ready for them.
Before last season, I think you had a lighthearted moment goal to put just smile, like this chaos smile. Is that the message again, or what have you thought about going into this?
Yeah, I think I play my best basketball when I'm having fun. So that's certainly my goal, and I feel like that's when I began to play really good basketball last year too, is when I just was relaxed and having fun and playing my game and getting my teammates involved, getting the crowd involved. I think smiling goes a long way, not only for your teammates that are looking at you and watching you as a leader on the court, but also for myself. Like, that's a stress reliever too. So, you know, just smile and have fun. That's always what I try to remind myself. That's the reason I play this game every single day, is because I love it. You know, why else would you do it if you didn't love it? So just remind myself of that.
One thing that Leo was saying is that players, you can't really get too caught up in rivalries.
Yeah.
You know, fans now love this rivalry, Chicago and Indiana, because of the the geographic closeness. What do you think it means to have rivalries like that in the game that people kind of extra look forward to?
Yeah, I mean, I think rivalries are good for all of sports. You know, I grew up, and whether it was the high school football team that my grandpa coached playing their rival, like I grew up not liking the rival high school, even though like I was 5 years old. That was just because what my family did. So like rivalries are real, and that's what makes sports so amazing. You know, there's certain teams that those games just mean a little bit more. So I think for our team though, you know, you come out here and you play the same way every single night, but I think it gets the fans involved and they love it. And, you know, I think it's a great part of sport is having those rivalries that people get really amped up about and love coming in this arena and cheering for.
Is there any correlation between your first game as a freshman in college and your first game as a sophomore and your first game as a pro? And then, because it seems to me like it's a world of difference coming in your second year as a pro.
I think it's like you show up in a new chapter of your life is like, all right, well, you know, you're trying to prove to yourself, you're trying to prove to everybody that you belong, and you're trying to find your way, you're trying to earn your spot and earn your minutes. So I think when you come into your second season, whether, you know, it's in college or whether it's professionally, or even if it's really in high school, like, you know, you belong, you know what the coach expects of you, you know teammates, you know how things operate, you just have a different sense of confidence about you, and you know how to respond when, you know, things don't go your way, and you know how to, you know, appreciate the really good moments and still learn from those too. So for me, I think just in the second year is just the confidence of, you know, what I was able to do in year one. And by no means is it going to be the same. Like, you don't want it to be the same. It's a different team. You're going to create a new identity, and we're going to create a new culture and hopefully be able to win more and hopefully perform better. But, you know, every year is going to be different. Every game is going to be different. So I think just rely on the confidence of, you know, being in similar moments.
It seems like the WNBA can present a lot of learning opportunities for any player. I don't know for you in the offseason if there's anything that sticks out as something you really learned about yourself. I don't know if like kind of having to deal with a preseason injury, if that's something you feel like you had to learn something about yourself through that.
That's a good question. I don't know. I mean, I think becoming a pro is where you learn a lot. And, you know, I could have gone through this whole offseason and not done anything. Like, that's just the reality. Like, there's not a team lift scheduled on your phone in the middle of the summer. Like, that's just not how it works. Like, you're a professional. Like, you make your calendar, you make your schedule, you make your routine, you make your workouts, and, you know, you have to be diligent in that. And I think, you know, I'm one of those players that loves to know I'm getting every single thing done. So I think it's just having discipline, and I feel like that's what I've always had in my life, and that's a skill like not everybody can have all the time. So I feel very fortunate of the coaches, the mentors, the other teammates that I've had that have held me accountable throughout my life. Like, once you become a pro, like these are the things that really matter. You have to act like that. You have to, you know, be accountable in January to your teammates now. Like, what are you doing in January to be better for the moments like tomorrow?
What were the motivations or things you were thinking about during those 8 a.m. workouts when it's, you know, in the dead of winter?
I think for myself, like, I know there's so much room for me to improve. Like, that's always what I remind myself. And for me, it's like I don't really have to find motivation to get in the gym. Like, sure, like, I mean, I can be motivated that we like made it to the playoffs and lost both games, but like, I love it. Like, I crave wanting to be better. I know I can get a lot better. Like, I don't think I've arrived by any means. I don't think I'm at the peak of my game yet. So it's just like, you know, grinding for those moments and being consistent. Like, if you do it once a week, like, that's never going to show up all summer long. So just being consistent and having a routine and continue to do it over and over. So when we get into moments in, you know, September and October, those things really shine.
Caitlin, what you've seen from this team in the preseason, has it only heightened your expectations or justified your expectations for this team?
I mean, I think it's, you know, my expectation is the same of us winning championships, but like, when I take the court tomorrow, that's not what I'm thinking about. I'm thinking about one possession, I'm thinking about one quarter, I'm thinking about how can I put my teammates in positions to be successful. Like, if you're thinking so far down the road, or if you're thinking even to the next game, like, that's a disservice to your teammates, that's a disservice to the fans here. It's, you know, what can we do every single possession to win this game?